senior high school band under the baton of Mr. Steve Granger. Thank you very much. "200 years ago, in the summer of 1787, and only 11 years after declaring their independence from English rule, delegates from 12 of the 13 original states met to frame a stronger and more efficient government for our country. The original 13 states were then governed by a pact of mutual friendship, which they called the Articles of Confederation in perpetual union. The national government established by these articles proved ineffective. At the urging of James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, George Washington, and other strong national leaders, the Confederation Congress adopted a resolution calling for a grand convention to be held in the city of Philadelphia to consider ways and means of strengthening and improving the American government. Here this evening to welcome you to this celebration and to read you from the resolution calling for the Federal Convention is Hardin County Commissioner Howard Watkins.
Thank you, John. On behalf of the other two commissioners, Wayne and Don, and on behalf of Hardin County, I'd like to welcome all of you to this occasion here tonight. To me, it's exciting and quite significant that all across our country and all across our land, communities just like our own are having similar celebrations. I'm sure that many of you enjoyed watching some of the festivities over television today, especially those coming from Philadelphia, where this event actually took place. And so I think it's really exciting to be a part of this, to celebrate something that has worked for 200 years. I think so many times we take so much for granted, so many of the freedoms that we enjoy, and perhaps it is good that we pause at this time to acknowledge a part of our heritage and our tradition. I would like to thank the Hardin County Bar Association and also the members of the Sullivan Johnson Museum who have done a lot in making preparations and plans for this event this evening. And now I would like to read from this resolution that John referred to. Whereas there is a provision in the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union for making alterations therein by the assent of a Congress of the United States and of the legislature of the several states, and whereas experience has evidenced that there are defects in the present Confederation, as a means to remedy which several of the states, and particularly the state of New York, by express instructions to their delegates in Congress, have suggested a convention for the purpose expressed in the following resolution, and such convention appearing to the most probable means of establishing in these states a firm national government. Resolved that in the opinion of Congress, it is expedient that on the second Monday in May next, a convention of delegates who have been appointed by the several states will be held in Philadelphia for the sole and express purpose of revising the Articles of Confederation and reporting to Congress and the several legislatures such alterations and provisions therein as shall, when agreed to in Congress and confirmed by states, render the federal Constitution adequate to the agencies of government and the preservation of the Union.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioners. The National Bicentennial Committee in Washington, D.C. has asked local communities to observe the 200th anniversary of the signing of the U.S. Constitution with ceremonies of instructional content and with joyous Thanksgiving. No such patriotic national holiday would be complete without proper presentation of the flags that have been designed and consecrated to symbolize our great nation. Here this evening to present the flags of the constitutional period are AMVETS Post 20, Kenton, which is approaching bearing the 13-starred Old Glory flag, and Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 3333, Kenton, who will present the Bennington flag. Old Glory is approaching you from the north. The Bennington flag is approaching you from the south. To present the Virgin of the state of Ohio is the Ohio National Guard, Company A, 1st Battalion, 148th Infantry. And to present the Hardin County flag is the American Legion Post 198, Kenton. In honoring these flags, we honor the brave men and women who served under them. General George Washington of Virginia was without doubt the best known and most credible national leader of the diverse American colonies, recently having become independent states by virtue of victory over England in arms. He agreed to attend the convention as a delegate from Virginia. He was received in Philadelphia to wild rejoicing and great happiness. He was unanimously chosen the chairman of the convention and presided over its deliberation with a stern dignity. Chairman Washington wished that we would become a united people rather than a confederation of states. He saw his wish reflected in the language of the preamble to the U.S. Constitution, "We the people." If you will forgive us a little play acting here this evening, our committee thought you might enjoy meeting General Washington, who is at this moment approaching our celebration as though he were coming to us directly from Philadelphia to bring us news of the convention and what it has proposed to us for our new government. May I present the General of the lately victorious American armies, the Sage of the Potomac, Chairman of the Constitutional Convention, that Cincinnatus who laid down the sword and returned to the plow, first in peace, first in war, and first in the hearts of his countrymen, the delegate from Virginia, General George Washington. General Washington, we thank you for gracing our celebration here this evening. Will you summarize for us what the Philadelphia Convention has done?
Greetings and felicitations from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. I bring great news. News that will change the course of human history. Behold before you the greatest document that the mind has ever produced. Constitution for these United States. I excuse the slight delay in getting to this beloved home of Kenton. What is it now, 200 years, Mr. Tudor?
Exactly, sir.
Excuse my delay, but I bring forth great news. Great news, and it is best put forth in the preamble. First to live on time immemorial. Shall we say it together, sir?
Absolutely, Mr. President.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice,
Ensure
domestic
tranquility,
provide
for the common defense,
promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish the Constitution for the United States of America.
We'll see you in 100 years. Could you all find a seat and make yourself comfortable, please? A 4-month period, May 25th to September 17th, at Independence Hall, Philadelphia, to earnestly debate their convictions, to responsibly compromise their differences, and to carefully balance the political forces to produce a document that has sustained the world's greatest democracy for 200 years. Often called the first of the modern constitutions, our federal constitution has survived longer than any other written national constitution. Now that's a record. Under this constitution, the people of this great land have remained dedicated to responsible democracy, to protecting the rights of the minority, and moving steadily ever closer to fully attaining the high ideals set forth so eloquently by our founding fathers. Because of this government that has evolved under the Constitution, people from all over the world have come to our shores to enjoy freedom and opportunity. Freedom and opportunity that would not have existed except for the Constitution, established 200 years ago. Now, the Constitution grants limited powers to the federal government and retains all other rights to the American people. The father of our Constitution, James Madison, wisely stated, "If men were angels, there would be no need of government. And if angels governed, there would be no need to protect the people from their government." Now, since men are not angels and since angels do not govern, the progress of our people over the last 200 years has been imperfect. But we have never lost sight of the high ideals underlying our Constitution. We have continually brought more and more people, blacks, women, the poor, under the protective umbrella of constitutional government. Now, the Constitution is still our guiding star 200 years later. If we continue to cherish and uphold it, making sure its benefits are not denied to any of our citizens, it will never, never fail us. The Constitution is short. You can easily read it in an hour's time. I would encourage all citizens to take the time to read the document from beginning to end. You will be surprised how clearly you understand it, and you will learn much about your government from reading it through just once. The United States Constitution has been widely admired and frequently copied throughout the world. Our founding fathers were by and large wise and educated men. They created for us a classic model democracy. But they were also extremely practical men with hands-on experience in government. Accordingly, they also created a form of government uniquely fitted to the peculiar genius of the American people. Perhaps for this reason, those, and there have been many, who have attempted to copy our Constitution for their own nation have not always succeeded. Now, once approved and signed by the convention delegates, the proposed Constitution was sent by the Confederation Congress to each of the 13 states. The Congress instructed that each state should call a convention of its people, not a state legislature, but a convention of the people to approve or disapprove the new form of government. The Constitution provides that the new government should be in effect when 9 of the states had approved it. 9 states have approved it with the approval of the state of New Hampshire in July of 1788. Ultimately, of course, all 13 states approved the Constitution. Now, there was lively debate in these state ratification conventions, and from this debate was born our Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendment to the Constitution that says what the federal government cannot do to we the people. The courts have jealously guarded the Bill of Rights to this day. But as soon as the Constitution was ratified, notwithstanding all of the discussion and all the debates in the ratification convention, the country closed ranks behind the new government with enthusiasm. The people seemed to feel that there was some magic in this document itself, that this document would assure that this wilderness would become a great nation. The people had fully debated the Constitution, and they really in those days fully understood its terms and its meaning. These diverse former colonists quickly put their faith and allegiance in the Constitution, as more homogeneous citizens of other nations may have put their faith in their monarch. There was great celebration and rejoicing in the streets as the Constitution was ratified state by state. In many cities, a sailing vessel was mounted up on a wagon and pulled through the streets by as many as 13 horses, representing the 13 states. The people believed that now they and their posterity would truly enjoy life, liberty, and happiness. Let us rediscover the magic that is in our Constitution. Let us regain the excitement. Let us celebrate the end of the first 2 centuries and the beginning of the second 200 years of freedom under constitutional law by a similar rejoicing. We on the committee have recreated an impression of an 18th century sailing ship as part of this celebration here tonight. You can see it approaching from the north. Let us unashamedly feel the pride and joy of 200 years ago. Let us celebrate their accomplishments and our good stewardship of it. Long live the U.S. Constitution. You know, the enemies of freedom think that we have lost our enthusiasm for our country. Well, that's not true. The truth of the matter is sometimes we're a little afraid to let our hair down and show how much we love our country. I'm going to ask Jack Broker of the Society Singers to conduct a little sing-along here. Let's kind of show our enthusiasm, and that 200 years later we're still right proud of this Constitution. Jack?
Thank you, John. Coming out here tonight, I thought maybe this would be hard, but with all of the surroundings here, it's going to be easy to sing some patriotic songs, right? Right. Okay, let's start out with America. You're not here to hear me sing, I'm here to hear y'all you sing, so. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. Now that's pretty good. Since you did so well on that one, let's go with another. Kate Smith's own special song, God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Good job. I thought we were done singing, but we're not. Okay, I got another. America the Beautiful. Everybody knows this one. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties, up off a fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll bear with us just a minute, we got modern times intruding. We're going to let Jack lead us on another song. We're going to do that all over again. This time we're going to put the flag on the other side. Jack, you're on.
I don't know if I have any for you, John.
I think that America's still a good song.
I got one here. Here we go. I got one here. Grand Old Flag.
All right.
Here we go. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home every heart beats true under red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. But should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag.
Thank you, Jack, again. Friends, was there ever a more beautiful flag? On behalf of the Hardin County Bar Association and the Sullivan Johnson Museum Society, I wish to thank all who participated in this program and all who attended. Through the cooperation of the Kenton Senior High Home Economics class, appropriate period refreshments are available in the courthouse. And you are also invited to inspect an exhibit commemorating our Constitution. So as soon as we dismiss here in just a second, I hope you will all come into the courthouse for refreshments. At this point, we close this celebration with thanksgiving to a generous providence for 200 years of life, liberty, and happiness, with the earnest prayer to Almighty God that we shall have another century of blessings of liberty under our Constitution. Amen. Thank you all. George, look, we're stirring dignity here.
No, I can see him quite fine.
Who's missing the flag? Which flag are you missing?
This is the Ohio flag. You got the Bennington and the county flag. We need the Old Glory.
You'll get it. John, let's see. All right.
Fellow Americans,
There you go.
Providence has shined upon us this evening in celebrating this grand and glorious anniversary, the 200th anniversary of these United States of America. May factions never rend it asunder. Factions ought to democracy.